Thank you very much. Thank you.
President Trump is not ready to call it a breakthrough, but he is optimistic that the offer from North Korea on talks to end its nuclear program may bear fruit.
I think that they are sincere.
In a joint appearance with Swedish Prime Minister Stefan Löfven, President Trump made a joke when asked what brought North Korea to this point.
Me. No, I think that nobody got that.
The president did take credit for the harsh sanctions that he says helped bring North Korea around. He also said the U.S. helped make the recent South Korean Olympics a success and had praised for North Korea's participation.
I thought North Korea was terrific. They came out, they went into the Olympics, they went in with good spirit, they did well. Let's see if we can carry it over. We may carry it over, it may not. It's a very tenuous situation. It's going to be very interesting to see what happens.
President Trump said several times, we'll see what happens with North Korea. Former UN Ambassador John Bolton believes the promise of talks could be just a ruse by the North to buy time.
The only thing North Korea is serious about is getting deliverable nuclear weapons, and by all accounts, they are very close to achieving an objective they've been after for 25 years. So why do they want to talk now? To divert our attention, to get us enmeshed yet again in negotiations, to get across that finish line.
The threat of punitive tariffs on steel and aluminum was high on the agenda in talks between the president and Swedish Prime Minister. Löfven carrying a message from the European Union that any American tariff would be met with penalties against U.S. goods made in heavily Republican districts like motorcycles, jeans, and bourbon.
The European Union has been particularly tough on the United States. They make it almost impossible for us to do business with them, and yet they send their cars and everything else back into the United States. And they can do whatever they'd like, but if they do that, then we put a big tax of 25% on their cars, and believe me, they won't be doing it very long.
How do you avoid this escalating into a trade war?
We'll have to see. You know, when we're behind on every single country, trade wars aren't so bad. Do you understand what I mean by that? When we're down by 30 billion, 40 billion, 60 billion, 100 billion, the trade war hurts them, doesn't hurt us. We're going to straighten it out, and we'll do it in a very loving way. It'll be a loving, loving way. They'll like us better, and they will respect us much more.
When asked how forceful the message he carried to the president was, the prime minister deflected.
I fully understand and respect the president's view that we have to look after his own country, the country that you're leading. I understand that fully. That's my primary task as well. But for me, leading a small country, depending on open trade, the best way for us is to do that with others.
President Trump also weighed in on recent staff changes at the White House and his tweet this morning that I still have some people that I want to change, always seeking perfection. There is no chaos, only great energy.
There'll be people that change. They always change. Sometimes they want to go out and do something else, but they all want to be in the White House. So many people want to come in. I have a choice of anybody. I could take any position in the White House, and I'll have a choice of the 10 top people.
That's very ironic that when President Trump made that statement, he knew that Gary Cohn was already on his way out the door, but the president didn't allude to that at the time. There's so much for all of the talk that Gary Cohn was going to replace John Kelly as the chief of staff here at the White House. There was also some thought among some people at the White House that as soon as there was a cabinet vacancy, that Gary Cohn could be tapped to replace that person. We're told that Gary Cohn was so well thought of here at the White House that he could have filled out a number of different cabinet positions. But again, Bill, it looks like Gary Cohn is going to lose the argument over tariffs because the president did seem to indicate today at that press conference that he is going to go ahead with those punitive tariffs on foreign aluminum and steel.